This episode is brought to you by Farmers Insurance.
Israeli Defense Forces strike the West Bank city of Jenin, leaving 8 dead and 27 injured, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. Also ahead, Ukrainians are being taken from the streets and sent to war. That's according to a POW who says that's how he ended up on the front line, warning he might have been speaking under duress. Foreign Minister praises trade relations with Russia, stressing that his country only acts in the best interests of its people, and that includes building ties with Moscow. Also, we're in a war today, will be the resistance tomorrow. French police warn as they desperately try to quell week-long riots.
We can clearly see that we're in the early stages of a civil war. What is a civil war? It's a confrontation between one part of the population against the state. It's exactly what we have here today.
Jaguar delivers that thrill every day. The F-Pace, how Jaguar makes an SUV.
Will Turkey ratify Sweden's NATO membership? Stockholm says it can't fulfill all Ankara's demands. As the bloc's membership requires unanimous approval, what would make Turkey change its mind? And what does all of this mean for NATO's future? This is Inside Story. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Mohammed Jamjoum. One of the many fallouts of Russia's invasion of Ukraine has been that previously neutral Nordic countries...
All right, so now let's try out the dual stereo speakers. And of course, I got the official Flossy Carter sound test by my homeboy Mark Rubier. Here we go.
Yo, sound test. Time for sound test. Everybody shut your mouth. Time for sound test. Time to test that quality of sound test. How's it sound, Floss? How's it sound, Floss? How's it sound now? How's it sound now? Does it sound big? Does it sound loud? How's the bass, baby? How's the treble on it? How's it sound now? How's it sound now? That's a sound test. That's a motherfucking sound test. Sound test. That's a sound test, baby. That's a sound test. That's a motherfucking sound test. How's the sound on that shit? God damn it, holla.
Nice and loud. Okay, not the most bass in the world. I'm gonna cover up the bottom. This is just the top. Okay.
How's the sound, white shoes? How's the sound on it? How's the sound, baby? That's a sound test.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Rubier. Not the most bass in the world, but definitely loud enough to get the job done, and I'll always take dual speakers over one bottom firing speaker any day of the week. All right, so now let's take a look at this 6.5-inch Full HD IPS LCD display. Here we go. Full screen. Teardrop cutout. Okay, there's your viewing angles. Got some bezels on here. Real beautiful. Here's how it's going to look when you're watching your videos. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, so now let's try a little gaming. And of course, I got Asphalt 9 queued up. Don't forget, you do have a dedicated gaming mode. Here we go. All right. I need to catch up. I can't lose 2 times in a row. Y'all seen the last video? I accidentally lost. I'm playing for the win now. I got to catch this white car right here. I still got to stick my landing though. Oh, I almost wrapped. Can I get him at the end? Got him. All right, let's do a little showboating. Why not? We got a comfortable lead. All right, there it is. All right, so now let's test out the dual stereo speakers. Of course, I got the official Flossy Carter sound test by my homeboy Mark Rebier. Here we go.
Yo, sound test, time for sound test. Everybody shut your mouth, time for sound test. Time to test that quality of sound test. How's it sound, Floss? How's it sound, Floss? How's it sound now? How's it sound now? Does it sound big? Does it sound loud?
How's the bass, baby? How's the treble on it? How's it sound now? How's it sound now?
That's a sound test. That's a motherfucking sound test. Sound test. That's a sound test, baby. That's a sound test. That's a motherfucking sound test. How's the sound on that shit? God damn it, holla.
Nice and loud. I'm going to cover up the bottom. This is just the top. Listen to that bass.
How's the sound, white shoes? How's the sound on it?
Now, Motorola always makes good speakers. These are no different.
That's a sound, baby. That's a sound test.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Rebier. I would say the speakers on the ThinkPhone sound excellent. All right, so now let me show you this beautiful 6.6-inch POLED panel. Check this out. That's full screen. 1200 nits brightness. Look at that. Excellent viewing angles. Basically bezel-less. Just a little cutout for your camera. And I can't stress how lightweight this phone is. I love it. Let's keep it moving. All right, so now let's do a little bit of gaming. Now I got Asphalt 9 queued up. And one quick side note, you got a little gaming suite. Okay, so you can block your calls, block your notifications. You can put it in lock mode. You got standard. Okay, you can change your performance. You got screenshot, screen record. You got acoustic lights. Okay, adds a little flair to it. Okay, you got settings, frames per second. You can change the volume or the brightness. Here we go. Now this phone is extra lightweight. Okay. Now I lost the last time I played this game, so y'all know I'm coming back for my title. I'm not playing around today. Oh, look. I lose one time, and now they think I'm gonna be losing this game every time. Come on, bro. Pardon me, yo. Let me get up in there. Okay, let's go. Come on, bro. I can't lose again. Oh, now let me get it. Now I got a style. Okay, why not? There we go. Back to first place. Okay. All right, so now let's test out the dual stereo speakers. And, of course, I got the official Flossy Carter sound test by my homeboy Mark Rebier. Here we go.
Yo, sound test. Time for sound test. Everybody shut your mouth. Time for sound test. Time to test that quality of sound test. How's it sound, Floss? How's it sound, Floss? How's it sound now? How's it sound now? Does it sound big? Does it sound loud?
How's the bass, baby? How's the treble on it? How's it sound now? How's it sound now?
That's a sound test. That's a motherfucking sound test. Sound test. That's a sound test, baby. That's a sound test. That's a motherfucking sound test. How's the sound on that shit? God damn it, holla.
Nice and loud. Let's cover up the bottom. This is just the top. You could definitely hear the bass.
How's the sound, white shoes? How's the sound on it? That's the sound, baby. That's a sound test.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Rebier. Excellent sounding speakers. All right, so now let's take a look at this beautiful 6.9-inch LTPO AMOLED display. And on a side note, let's see if I get one of these bugs that I've been having. All right, so let's get maximum volume, full screen display, basically bezel-less, over 1,000 nits brightness, excellent viewing angles, and the crease. Look at the crease. All right, watch when the water shows up. You could barely see that crease. You gotta really look for it, you see? Now, if you're watching videos with your phone like this, you're not gonna notice the crease at all. They did an excellent job. Now watch this. I'm gonna close up the display. You see I got the record player, but if I hit continue, now my video's playing. Now when I open the phone back up, I can't get full screen. Let me know if y'all having that same bug. You see, now my video won't go back to full screen. Let's try to exit out. Okay, now we'll have to research it again. This is a little bug that I've been having, and that's why I like to do these videos live. You see, now I got full screen again. Let's close up the device. We'll hit continue. Watching the video. Now let's go back to the main display. Open it back up. I can't pinch the zoom. All right, so that's a little bug that I noticed. Let me know if y'all having the same issue. But other than that, the display looks beautiful. All right, so now let's try a little gaming. Of course, I got Asphalt 9 queued up. Here we go. All right. Snapdragon 8 Generation 1. No lag. Should be able to run all your Android games. All right, let's do something cute real quick. Okay, that was nice. That was nice. All right, number 2 right there. He's trying to get money. Look at that landing. I need first place for this video, y'all. Sorry. Pardon me, sir. Here we go. And of course, the style all the way through. All right, so now let's check the dual stereo speakers. Of course, I got the official Flossy Carter sound test by my homeboy Mark Rebier. Here we go.
Yo, sound test. Time for sound test. Everybody shut your mouth. Time for sound test. Time to test that quality of sound test. How's it sound, Floss? How's it sound, Floss? How's it sound now? How's it sound now? Does it sound big? Does it sound loud?
How's the bass, baby? How's the treble on it? How's it sound now? How's it sound now?
That's a sound test. That's a motherfucking sound test. Sound test. That's a sound test, baby. That's a sound test. That's a motherfucking sound test. How's the sound on that shit? God damn it, holla.
Let's cover up the bottom. This is just the top. Okay, nice and loud.
How's the sound, white shoes? How's the sound on it?
Good amount of bass.
How's the sound, baby? That's a sound test.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Rebier. These speakers sound great for a mid-range phone. All right, so now let's take a look at this 6.7-inch AMOLED display. Here we go. Basically bezel-less. Excellent viewing angles. Almost 1,000 nits brightness. It looks great. All right, so when you're watching your videos, it's going to look like this. Let's keep it moving. All right, so now let's do a little bit of gaming. Of course, I got Asphalt 9 queued up. Here we go. Okay, boxes in the road. Y'all like that one? Y'all like that? Get that drift. Hold up. Let me start drifting for real. Stop playing around. Let me get to that ramp, bro. Oh, he trying to take the same ramp as me? Yo, why do was riding on the side of the building? Y'all seen that? Okay, here we go. There it is. Okay. All right, so now let's test out the quad stereo speakers. Of course, I got the official Flossy Carter sound test by my homeboy Mark Rebier. Here we go.
Yo, sound test, time for sound test. Everybody shut your mouth, time for sound test. Time to test that quality of sound test. How's it sound, Floss? How's it sound, Floss? How's it sound now? How's it sound now? Does it sound big? Does it sound loud?
How's the bass, baby? How's the treble on it? How's it sound now? How's it sound now?
That's a sound test. That's a motherfucking sound test. Sound test. That's a sound test, baby. That's a sound test. That's a motherfucking sound test. How's the sound on that shit? God damn it, how?
These speakers are nice and loud. The bass is shaking the tablet.
How's the sound, white shoes? How's the sound on it? How's the sound, baby? That's a sound test.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Rebier. Excellent speakers on this tablet. Super loud. All right, so now let's take a look at this beautiful 11-inch IPS LCD panel. Now you can go full screen. You do got a little bit of bezels, but that's good because you want to be able to hold the tablet. Excellent viewing angles. This is landscape mode. And you got portrait mode. Easily rock this with one hand. But when you're watching your videos, it's gonna look like this. Beautiful. It's flat on the table. And if you got a little stand, it's gonna look like this. Let's keep it moving. All right, so just in case you're wondering, here's the difference between the OnePlus pad and the Xiaomi pad when you're watching your videos. Both of them IPS LCD panels. Okay. The OnePlus is definitely bigger though. But the Xiaomi is more manageable. Easy to hold in your hands. But they look about the same. All right, so now let's do a little gaming. Of course, I got Asphalt 9 queued up. Here we go. You hear those speakers? Okay. No lag at all. Pardon me, sir. You get through that? All right, I'm going this way this time. Okay, here we go. Got him. Let me take to the roof. Let's go. Look at that. No lag. Look right up the roof. Ooh, let's go. Oh, I'm in reverse. Oh, that might have cost me. That might have cost me. Give me the boost. That cost me. All right. I still took the top three.
Number 10, Geely CK. A lot of imported cars make their way over to North America, including brands from Japan, Germany, and Sweden. Chinese-made cars weren't exactly commonplace at trade shows, however. That is, until the Geely CK made history when it was shown to members of the press in 2006. This did little to increase the brand's safety reputation, however, as it was repeatedly cited for possessing incredibly poor frame design. The body for the Geely CK was reportedly so bad that it would collapse in situations of major stress, and the model was eventually phased out by 2016. Its spiritual successor, the Gleegle CK, is still currently for sale in China. Number 9, Hyundai Pony.
첨단 기술의 승용차 포니 엑셀 탄생.
The next car on our list had a surprisingly long life for a model that repeatedly was the butt of industry jokes for its poor construction. The Pony was Hyundai's first attempt at developing a car for the import market, and it did so at an incredibly affordable price.
No wonder the Pony Ride is an all-time, all-round family favorite.
Unfortunately, this meant that ponies on the road were basically cheap rust buckets that couldn't handle the weather and road obstacles present in the country where they were the most popular, Canada. Poor frame aside, the Pony also had suspension issues and a rear-wheel drive, which made them incredibly dangerous to drive in heavy snow or pouring rain. This Pony was a bust.
Take a pony for a ride. You'll be amazed.
Number 8, Pontiac Fiero.
Holy smokes, what is this? It's a Pontiac Fiero.
The tagline for the Pontiac company may have been, "We build excitement." But in the case of the Fiero, a better slogan might have been, "We build trouble."
We build excitement.
That's because these popular cars were known for exploding or catching fire, thanks to malfunctioning connecting rods. These rods would break in cars that were either dangerously low on oil or driven extremely recklessly, resulting in hundreds of customer complaints and nearly a dozen injuries.
Fiero, fuel injected, economical, and only from Pontiac.
Despite this, the Fiero still has plenty of fans on the secondhand market, many of which point to its performance and sporty look as a reason to defy death every day.
You got it, Pontiac.
Number 7, Chevrolet Corvair.
Even now when I drive it, you know, people under 30 go, "Is that a Carmen Gear? Is that Italian?" No, it's a Chevy. What? A Chevy Corvair? Well,
sometimes it's not necessarily the car, and it's not necessarily the driver, but a combination of the two. The Chevy Corvair became infamous for its inclusion in Ralph Nader's book, Unsafe at Any Speed, which accused most major car companies of choosing performance over safety. Nader pointed out the rear-mounted engine caused handling issues for owners who delighted in driving as fast as possible. This was true, but it wasn't just the Corvair's design that caused rollovers, as many other sporty vehicles could be susceptible to the same thing, should that same driver be behind the wheel.
Beneath the sleek modern lines, you have a new 140 horsepower, 4-carburetor rear engine. Agile performance to go with its breathtaking beauty.
That said, the Corvair's body design did passengers no favors should a rollover occur, which the aforementioned engine was prone to overheating and seizing.
Not much doubt about it, is there, that this is the car that gives you more of what you're looking for in a compact car.
Number 6, Audi 5000.
Why did Car and Driver magazine call the Audi 5000 a functional masterpiece?
Not to be confused with the Audi 5000. There are few things more frightening than the bugs that plague the next car on our list, the Audi 5000. That's because the engines on this Volkswagen subdivision were prone to accelerating at a moment's notice, resulting in hundreds of accidents and 6 deaths. This deadly defect was reported between 1983 and 1987, but an investigation actually revealed that many of these instances were due to operator confusion and error.
A Washington-based consumer group headed by Ralph Nader has dubbed the Audi 5000 a killer car.
That said, the Audi 5000 did possess issues with its idle stabilizer system, and these errors did contribute to some acceleration complaints. The company tinkered with the design, and future Audi 5000 models' years did not seem to possess the same issues.
The Audi 5000 at your Porsche Audi dealer and find out why.
Number 5, Ford Model T.
This was the car that really started it all.
Older cars are just bound to be plagued with more problems, right? Well, this is correct when it comes to the classic Ford Model T. And it all comes down to one boneheaded design flaw.
Of course, the Model T eventually made Henry Ford famous throughout the country and eventually the world.
The gas tank for the car, affectionately known as the Tin Lizzie, was located under the seat, effectively making it a bomb waiting to go off. What's worse, the Model T's style of windshield was extremely sharp, leaving the driver in some pretty rough shape. Should an explosive crash occur, does this stop the Model T from being an incredibly cool and vintage old car? Of course not, but antique collectors seeking to score one should probably drive with extreme caution.
Trying to figure out, I think we've got some ignition problem here.
Number 4, BMW Isetta. The Isetta's origins may lie in Italy, but the BMW redesign gave the phrase dangerous driving a whole new meaning. The Isetta is known as a bubble car, a single-cylinder Mini that used a motorcycle engine of all things. The BMW version beefed up their engine, but the Isetta's inherent design, featuring a front-hinged hatch, was so small and thin that drivers were basically taking their own lives in their hands when driving one.
If you push the pedal too hard, the whole thing will fall on its face.
You hit another car, farewell forever. You hit a small tree, see you in the next world. Clip that corner a little bit? Well, you may not die, but say goodbye to one of your lower extremities. You get the idea? Number 3, DeLorean DMC-12. It was a bad car that succeeded in spite of itself. An absolute cultural icon that could have only been birthed in the wild and untamed 1980s.
Doc! Marty! You made it!
Yeah!
Welcome to my latest experiment. This is a big one, the one I've been waiting for all my life.
Well, it's a DeLorean, right?
Bear with me, Marty. All your questions will be answered.
The DeLorean DMC-12 was named after the company's founder, ex-GM exec John DeLorean, and was a definition of style over substance.
You don't do a thing like this for the money. You do it because you love doing it.
For all its looks, the DeLorean DMC-12 wasn't very fast, nor could it handle very well. What it did have was those 2 bitchin' gull-wing doors. Doors that would lock whoever was inside, should their DeLorean roll over. Beyond this, the DeLoreans had alignment issues that resulted in excessive, dangerous tire wear, poor alternators, and a fiberglass frame that was simply not designed with high-speed accidents in mind.
Drive the DeLorean. Live the dream today.
Number 2, Yugo GV.
It looks like the picture will be the same for 1994.
You kind of know a car is bad when there are jokes almost immediately out about its quality, or lack thereof.
Reliability is his second name. Dependability and safety now have a totally new meaning. Do not hold your horses. Your dream of a tough, dependable car can finally be fulfilled.
The Yugo was an import that boasted a cheap price tag and even cheaper construction, with feedback criticizing issues such as its timing belt. Owners needed to replace these belts every 40,000 miles, with failure to do so potentially resulting in a bricked engine.
What kind of engine's this piece of shit have?
The Yugo GV was also slow as hell and unreliable in a crash, with the brand never really gaining a foothold in the United States.
Come on. Come on! Come on! Look what's coming now! No! Oh! Well, this is pathetic.
Yugo ultimately died a quiet death in 2008.
Any car hoping to live up to such robust praise better have pretty serious numbers to back it up. And the BMW 850 CSI throws some mighty impressive ones at you at every turn. Starting with maximum 12, as in the number of cylinders under the CSI sleek hood. BMW's motorsports division started with an already excellent 5-liter aluminum power plant. They increased its displacement to 5.6 liters, fitted lighter weight pistons, increased the compression ratio, modified the valve timing, and the exhaust system. The result, a beastly 372 horsepower and 402 pound-feet of torque. To those numbers, add this 6-speed Getrag manual, the only transmission available. It allows higher revs in the lower gears, helping you get these numbers. 0 to 60 in only 5.9 seconds, over a second quicker than the V8-powered 840 CI we tested 4 months ago. The quarter mile flew by in 14.2 seconds with a trap speed of 103 miles per hour. Shifts were smooth and each gear engaged with precision. Flip the console switch to S and the electronic throttle is most aggressive, K for more leisurely romps. Power is so abundant that the proper place to unleash it was on a racing circuit, specifically Georgia's Roebling Road Raceway, where the 850 CSI didn't disappoint. A marvelous, fabulous car to drive with gusto, raved one of our test drivers. Whether blasting down a straightaway, negotiating a hairpin turn, or exiting a sweeping corner at triple-digit speeds, this baddest of all bimmers did it with ease. The four-wheel independent suspension is superbly tuned and lowered, and did a superb job of masking the 4,200-pound bulk of this car. Keeping contact with the road are massive Z-rated 17-inch tires, 235/45s in front and 265/40s at the rear. They're mounted on M-style alloy wheels unique to the 850 CSI. As we expected, braking was exemplary by way of large 12.8-inch disc at each corner. Our average stopping distance from 60 was an amazingly straight as an arrow 99 feet. Both anti-lock and traction control are standard. Impressive center stack are a myriad of controls, including those for the cassette and CD stereo system. BMW's incredibly comprehensive trip computer, and the easily operated CFC-free air conditioning system. although the rear space is only 9.5 cubic feet. But you also get this BMW signature toolkit, and the remote CD changer is hidden out of harm's way. Helping you stay that way while riding or driving in the 850 CSI are dual airbags, enhanced seat belts, ABS brakes, and traction control. It also has 5-mile-per-hour bumpers and meets 1997 side impact standards. Well, want one? There will also be a definite impact on your finances if you do from one final very large 850 CSI number. $98,500 to be precise. Although gas guzzler and luxury taxes will boost that bottom line to over 6 figures. And with only 200 examples to be sold in North America, you'll be in very exclusive company. And you'll own one of the most capable street cars on the planet. And for sure, the biggest, baddest BMW coupe ever.
We didn't accept that before. We didn't accept that military operation will be like this. After that, the big military groups with the military jeeps attack Jinin from different.
All right, so now let's test out the dual stereo speakers. Of course, I got the official Flossy Carter sound test by my homeboy Mark Rebier. Here we go.
Yo, sound test. Time for sound test. Everybody shut your mouth. Time for sound test. Time to test that quality of sound test. How's it sound, Floss? How's it sound, Floss? How's it sound now? How's it sound now? Does it sound big? Does it sound loud? How's the bass, baby? How's the treble on? How's it sound now? How's it sound now? That's a sound test. That's a motherfucking sound test. Sound test. That's a sound test, baby. That's a sound test. That's a motherfucking sound test. How's the sound on that shit? God damn it, holla.
These speakers actually sound pretty good. Look, I'm gonna cover up the bottom. This is just the top. Look how loud the top is.
How's the sound, white shoes? How's the sound on it? How's the sound, baby? That's a sound test.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Rebier. For $500, these speakers sound amazing. All right, so now let's take a look at this beautiful 6.1-inch AMOLED display. Let's go full screen. Now you got a few bezels on this, okay? Excellent viewing angles though. It looks amazing. Now I want to show you something real quick. Let's grab the 7. Since Google doesn't want to show how many nits, let's see the difference. Okay. So here's the 7 and 7 Pro. Now, if you notice, the 7 is a little bit brighter. So you got more nittage. But they both look great. All right, this is the 7A. All right, so let's do that one more time, side by side. Yeah, the 7 is definitely a brighter display. Let's keep it moving. All right, so now let's try a little gaming. Of course, I got Asphalt 9 queued up. Here we go. Okay. Now, this is the Google Tensor chip. Okay. No lag. Oh, hold up. Oh, almost wrapped. Hold up. All right, now that, trying to be fancy. Gonna cost me the W. Unless I can bring it back. Okay, that ramp gave me some boost. We gotta use that immediately. Oh, rap! That was the first time I ever rapped like that. I didn't even know you could crash like that. Can I still pull it off? All right, I'm in the top 3. I'm in the top 3. All right, so I got my usual test video queued up. Keep your eyes on this beautiful display and keep your ears on these extra loud speakers. You could barely see that punch hole camera. Here we go. Let's cover up the bottom speaker. You hear how loud the top is? Up to 1300 nits peak brightness. Excellent viewing angles. This is under $500, y'all. Let's go. Ah, shoot! All right, now let's do a little bit of gaming. Got one of my favorite games queued up, Asphalt 9. All right, here we go. Now, this video might not do it justice, but these speakers sound incredible. All right, here we go. Asphalt 9 Legends. Let's get it in. All right. I'm hyped. Let's go. Okay, let's see if I remember how to play this. Okay, turning is automatic. I get it. Tap and hold to drift. Okay, here we go. Okay. Nitrous. All right, I got my rhythm, y'all. Woo! No lag, no drop frames. Okay, choose your own adventure. Let's go to the right. It says, I'll take it to the right. Power through that. Okay, you see how smooth this is running up? Let's see if I can get that ramp. Okay. Okay, here we go. There it is. Nitrous in midair for the dramatic effect. Okay, let's see if I can do this. You get the idea though. It's running nice and smooth. Take it to the ramp. Bang, nitrous in midair. Drifting in midair too. Okay.
Today we're talking about 1980s AMC TV commercials.
You are about to leave the world of ordinary cars behind and make the Eagle switch. The revolutionary two-wheel, four-wheel drive American Eagle. The only automobile that lets you switch from two-wheel drive to full-time four-wheel drive. From high mileage on the road to high adventure off the road. Two-wheel drive luxury to four-wheel drive security. American Eagle. A switch from every car in the world from American Motors.
During the 1980s, AMC sent product training materials to dealerships on laser discs, which, if you've never seen one before, they're these giant, shiny discs that at first glance look kind of like massive CDs, but they're actually used for video, and they're this fascinating technology that competed with tapes, and I don't want to get into the history of Laserdisc, although it is fascinating. But some people still have these dealership training laser discs, and along with materials teaching you about all engine sizes and option packages and, you know, how much leather trim adds to the value of the car. But my favorite part is that they have commercials for the vehicles AMC was selling at the time. Now, the one you just watched was for the AMC Eagle wagon, but they had another one for the sportier AMC Eagle SX4.
You are about to leave the world of ordinary sports cars and make the Eagle switch. The revolutionary two-wheel, four-wheel drive Eagle SX4. The only sport machine that lets you switch from two-wheel drive to full-time four-wheel drive. From high mileage on the road to high adventure off the road. Two-wheeling in style or four-wheeling in the wild. The Eagle SX4. A switch from every sports car in the world from American Motors.
A switch from every car in the world. Eagle. I just love buttons and switches, and I think that they really did a good job of selling this idea that, like, boom, it's this big dramatic thing. And years later, having actually driven an AMC Eagle, I have to say that it was somewhat anticlimactic when I first made the Eagle switch. And look, here's how easy it is. I just took us out of four-wheel drive right there. No locking hubs, no gear shifts, any of that kind of nonsense. And I remember being in, which had a slightly different ad campaign.
It seems like only yesterday they sparkled under showroom lights. Now they're rusted hulks. The tough Americans at American Motors think you should have something better, a car with a future. So Concord's the only American car built with something more durable than steel. Galvanized steel in 100% of the exterior body panels. That's right, 100%. So good as this high-mileage Concorde looks today, its future looks even brighter. For 1982, more tough action from American Motors. We're torturing this 1982 American Motors Concorde to make a point about warranties. The American Motors Buyer Protection Plan includes the only full warranty in the industry, covering every part for 12 months or 12,000 miles, even if it just wears out. The limited warranties from all other car makers don't give you that kind of protection. The tough Americans can back their high-mileage Concorde like no other car because Concorde can take it. More tough action from American Motors. Introducing the 1982 American Motors Spirit. Any car could rust under 30 feet of salt water, but we're showing it to make a point. Only the tough Americans from American Motors give you Z-Bart factory rust protection and a full 5-year no-rust-through warranty. So when you hear durability claims for other high-mileage cars this year, just remember who backs their claim with the only 5-year warranty. More tough action from American Motors.
That handsome 1980s spokesperson is Sam. A lot of other made-for-TV movies and things like that. But back then, he was the spokesperson of AMC's Tough Americans campaign. And the idea was that AMC's product lineup was pretty old by this point. But AMC very wisely decided to market these products as sort of the old, reliable kind of thing. So even though maybe Concorde didn't have all the latest technology or styling, well, it was a reliable design you could count on. You know, it was quiet, it had a good engine. Now, as the 1980s moved on, Concorde and Spirit became less important to AMC, and Renault products really became the one to watch, the one to watch.
Renault.
And no Renault product, say that 5 times fast, was more important than the Alliance. And the sheer amount of advertising and print material and TV commercials and training videos and factory tours and news stories about the Alliance just prove how important this car was to AMC. The cool part about that as a historian is that there are tons of Alliance commercials to look at. Now, the one I'm going to show you is from the 1985 Laserdisc, so at this point the Alliance has already been out for several years.
The great cars of Europe priced out of reach until now. Renault bridges the gap between European technology and affordability. Renault Alliance with comfort for 5. And now introducing Alliance Convertible. Renault Alliance, fuel injected, fuel efficient. European technology from Renault, Europe's leading car maker. 6161, built in America and affordable. The one to watch, the one to watch, the one to watch. Renault.
I love the 1980s special effects for these commercials. You know, the Alliance was built in America, and another vehicle built in America was the Encore, which was basically a hatchback version of the Alliance. But the commercial for Encore is absolutely hilarious.
If you are what you drive, imagine yourself as a Renault Encore. Expressively sporty in outlook, stylishly European in design. Renault Encore, from Europe's leading car maker, built in America with independent suspension for amazing handling. Electronic fuel injection for efficiency. And true to your ingenuity, you are affordable. $59.59. Are you what you drive?
I can see myself in a Renault Encore.
The one to watch, the one to watch, the one to watch. Renault.
Picture yourself in a Renault Encore. It's like this dude in a red windbreaker transforms into a 1980s hatchback. Just the way that like the guy's sunglasses transform into sealed beam headlights. It was the 80s and everything was ridiculous. And I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to play this one for you and you can tell me what you think. like the Eagle switch sound effect, you know, the I love the sound effect. That means that some guy had to have been in a studio, you know, with a microphone, and there was some director who's like, okay, we want you to make a grunting sound like you're riding a buffalo. And that commercial is just a lot of fun. But here's the cool part for the Eagle wagon. But take note of how the tone is different from the commercials for the early 1980s Eagles.
Time to get Daddy at the airport.
It's really rainy.
We'll be just fine, honey.
With the flick of a switch, the American Eagle gives you the traction of four-wheel drive, because there are times when the most important thing your automobile can give you is confidence. Comfort, luxury, and the confidence of four-wheel drive. No ordinary wagon gives you that.
Hi, Daddy.
Hi, sweetheart.
Depend on Eagle from American Motors.
Dad, how come we're the only car moving?
The others are stuck.
Are we gonna get stuck too?
No, we'll get through just fine.
When the going gets tough, the American Eagle offers what no ordinary car can. The traction and confidence of four-wheel drive at the flick of a switch. No wonder Eagle's the official vehicle of the National Ski Patrol.
Dad, what if everybody drove an Eagle?
They'd put tow trucks out of business.
Depend on Eagle from American Motors.
Mommy, will the thunder make us late?
Don't worry, we'll be on time.
With the flick of a switch, American Eagle lets you shift on the fly from two-wheel drive to the sure-footed traction of four-wheel drive. Because sometimes security is the most important thing your car can give you.
They wouldn't have missed this for the world.
When nature makes it rain or snow, fight back. Make it Eagle.
But notice in these commercials, the Eagle never goes off-road, with the exception of the snow commercial. I guess there's that clip of it like driving over hills of snow, but they're marketing it as a security car for bad weather driving, which was sort of the impetus for the vehicle. If you go back and watch our AMC Eagle test drive video that I did, and we talk about Roy Lunn and the creation of the Eagle and how it sort of stemmed from this idea that lots of people were buying Jeeps, but they weren't actually taking them off-road. They were using them to drive on-road in foul weather. So the commercials are much less about adventure and style and much more about safety and security. And another thing about those commercials that stuck out to me is if you look at the shot of the Eagle pulling out of the garage, what car is parked next to it? A Mercedes. And that's no mistake. AMC was marketing the Eagle as an expensive vehicle. I mean, and then we have a 1986 Cherokee commercial.
Bronco 2 never made it. S10 Blazer 4x4 never made it. No four-wheeler ever made it until the new Jeep Cherokee became the first to win all 3 4x4 of the Year awards in 1984. And only Cherokee has a choice of 2 or 4 doors. And Cherokee lets you shift on the fly from 2 to 4-wheel drive. Get triple award-winning Cherokee performance in the one vehicle that made it, only in a Jeep.
The way you blew into town and looked all around, well, I knew right then that you were new. You looked so fine and you cut such a fine line that I knew what I had to do. So I'm keeping an eye on you. Keeping an eye on you. Watching every little thing you do.
There's a new truck on the road. It's called Comanche. It's built by Jeep. It's worth a look.
Jeep Cherokee has some advantages you ought to look into, like superior cargo room and room for 5 with a choice of 2 or 4 doors and 4-wheel drive you can shift on the fly. But the most important advantage, Cherokee is all Jeep, inside and out.
When you go back and watch those commercials, you realize just how revolutionary it was.
Most of the muscle machines that I've reviewed up to now have been 1960s and 70s American muscle cars. Well, here's a 1929 Ford Model A muscle machines that obviously has a part-time job running moonshine. Hey, Cletus, we just distilled some roadkill. Well, get it there as quickly as possible. Look at the giant engine on this car. And the convenient wood planks to hold the moonshine containers on the back of the truck. What do you ship moonshine in? Glass jugs, cans, kegs, aquariums? I have no idea. I tried moonshine once. So you had the Model A Ford with a giant Muscle Machines engine, real rubber tires, chrome exhaust and wheels, and a seriously bad attitude, along with wooden planks. Thanks to our friend Dean for sending the truck and hold the moonshine, but I'll take the Model A.
Recognize the admission of Finland and Sweden to NATO, because we all know that, looking from an historical perspective, NATO members have brought their national issues to the...
The answer is as simple as saying limited edition. 2 words that strike the fancy of today's upwardly mobile consumers, even better than lower mortgage rates. And the name of this limited edition, the BMW L7. While you won't find the familiar 735i logo on the back, make no mistake about it, this is the same basic 7 Series sedan that's been around since 1978. But the L7 has an altogether different flavor from other 7 Series models and from other German luxury sedans. Just take a look inside. A bright silver gray is the only color available, and leather is the only upholstery. Not just for the seats, but for the door panels, the dash, and the console. It gives the L7 that warmth you won't find in any other German interior. The seats are traditionally German, though, with a firm feel and good support. They're also adjustable 8 ways and have 2 heat settings. The front head restraints adjust electrically, too. And the L7 gets a head restraint of another kind. An airbag resides in the steering wheel hub. There's a knee bolster under the dash, too, for extra crash protection. But some of our drivers hit their knee on it when getting in. Also on the negative side, the steering wheel partially blocks some of the pedometer. But the strong stereo has a useful anti-theft device that prevents it from working if removed without permission. Everything else in the L7 is easy to reach and use, from the climate control to the trip computer. But carrying ability means more than space. It means power, too. For that, the L7 has a 3.5-liter inline 6-cylinder. It's fuel-injected and makes 182 horsepower with 214 pound-feet of torque. It's one of the smoothest 6-cylinders around and makes a delightful turbine-like growl when you mash the accelerator. But we wonder if it has enough oomph to pull the L7's 3,700 pounds. Quarter-mile time was a mediocre 18.4 seconds at 78 miles per hour. 0 to 60 was average at 11 seconds. Transmission settings made little difference in these tests. However, with a top speed of 125, it's clear that the L7 was designed more for Autobahn cruising than boulevard dragging. While initial acceleration doesn't glisten, rapid deceleration does. The L7 gets anti-skid brakes. Perhaps that's not a big deal for BMW, since even the 3 Series BMW gets them as standard, but it means a lot in an emergency. They pull this biggest bimmer down from 55 in a short 105 feet, and they'll do the same on wet pavement. The L7's handling also makes you forget about its sluggish straight-line demeanor. It seems happier on a twisty road than any other sedan of its size. Body roll is minimal and response is very neutral, with no front-end plow to speak of and no sway from the rear end either. The steering is also accurate and has excellent road feel, so high-speed interstate driving in the L7 inspires more confidence than the cliché car on rails. A very low interior sound level of 64 decibels helps too. As for fuel economy, the L7 is EPA rated at 15 city, 19 highway. We returned 18 on our mixed driving loop, but then again, who cares? After all, calling the L7 a gas guzzler just right with great handling, braking, and high-speed stability. But most of all, we like those un-German qualities of the L7. The over-generous use of excellent leather, the light colors in the interior, and the electronically controlled automatic transmission. As for misses, we didn't like the L7's initially pokey acceleration, or its partially blocked gauges and lack of full instrumentation. On safety matters, the L7 passes on all counts, with standard halogen headlights, radial tires, and stronger 5-mile-per-hour bumpers. It also has a passive restraint for the driver and safer 3-point safety belts for the outboard rear seat passengers. So the limited edition L7 isn't exclusive just because of its 1,500 car per year production run. It offers all the things you'd expect, plus the humanistic interior qualities with driving fun that other German luxury sedans lack, all of which gives it unique appeal. And that puts BMW one step closer to parity with the other exalted German car maker. And we can hardly wait to see the next step, the all-new and more powerful 735i that BMW will have in the showrooms this summer.
And we'll see you next time. Motor Week was proudly brought to you by Prestone Antifreeze and Coolant and by Prestone Super Flush Products.
Studio vehicle courtesy of Sherwood Ford.
Entrance of Jenin from Nazareth Street, from Haifa Street, from Nablus Street, and all of that came to Jenin refugee camp to
platform of the alliance whenever any particular topic came to the agenda.
Let's to thank one of our sponsors, Farmers Insurance.
It's all you.
No, I insist.
It's your turn.
Nope, I think it's your turn.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Go.
I appreciate your appreciation. It fills me.
Safe drivers save money with Farmers.
Just for driving safely?
It's a Farmers policy perk. Get Farmers and you can get a safe driver discount simply for having a clean driving record for 3 years.
Come on. After you.
After you.
Safety first.
Get a whole lot of something with Farmers policy perks.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.